Hello everybody, my name is Zen, and Diablo Immortal is coming out on June 2nd, not just on mobile, but also on PC, and oh, that feels good to say. That is such a cool little announcement that they made, where, yeah, if you're playing on PC, like you do normally for Diablo, then you're going to be able to play Diablo Immortal, and it's going to run just fine. I should mention that June 2nd is the worldwide launch release date for Immortal. So it's just, you know, if you've got a phone, you could obviously just play it. If you got a PC, you could play it. But the PC client is technically in beta. They have not tested it openly yet, right? So there's no like open beta or anything that's happened with the PC client. So they are labeling the PC client that is going to be on Battle.net as a beta. So just so everybody knows, like there may be some issues there, but it comes with all the same support and features that you have on mobile, which is controller support, which is actually really nice to play as. At least, you know, back when I was playing on the beta with the phone, the controller worked great, just like it does on console. They made it so you can navigate the menus and everything with like a free cursor if you're using the controller. And you can also on PC bind your movement to WASD, because if you think about it, the phone version has a dual stick control, where you have a stick to move around, and then you have your buttons that you're pushing for your abilities. But some of those buttons you push and hold to charge up abilities, and you aim when you're doing that. You could still move with your left stick, but with the right stick you're aiming where your ability is going at the same time. That's not really something that you find in like Diablo 3, right? It's different because you're aiming with your mouse, but you're also moving with your mouse. So because of that, you can now bind your movement to, like, I think it's bound default to WASD, but you can bind it to whatever you really want on the keyboard. But if you're playing on PC with a controller, you can, just like you can with Diablo 2 Resurrected, you could sit there playing with your controller, moving around, attacking and everything like you would with the phone. And then if you wanted to mess with your inventory, you could just boom, switch your keyboard and mouse and, do stuff with that real quick, and then switch back to the controller, which honestly is gonna be the way that I play, because from my extensive time playing Immortal, controller is definitely the way to go. But how exciting is that? June 2nd, we're going to be all able to play together, and your stuff is going to carry over even on the PC. So it's technically in beta, but it is like full launch. Your progress is going to carry forward from then on. It's not ever going to be reset on the PC client, and there is full crossplay between PC and mobile. And here's the best part. Imagine you're like me, you're sitting, you're playing on your PC, you're having fun, yada, yada, yada. Oh, it's afternoon time for the bathroom. Pick up your phone, go sit down, and literally carry on where you left off, because it is full progress carrying between the two platforms, full crossplay, everything. And that is fantastic. Now, of course, the game is likely going to run and play better on your PC, depending on what PC you have. Now, granted, the phone version also runs great, so even if you have like not a great PC, it's still going to run fine. Like if you can run Diablo 3, you definitely can run Diablo Immortal, even though Immortal does look visually a better game than previous Diablos, in my opinion. However, with that said, there's some things that we need to talk about here. There's some changes that they've made before launch. But first off, there's not going to be a beta between now and launch. It's just going to go straight into launch. And this is, if you haven't been keeping up with Immortal, it is a live service game. It's like an MMO. This isn't like Diablo 3 where you get seasons every 3 to 4 months and everything kind of resets, and then you go and jump in, and it's not like that. It's you got to treat it like an MMO. The constant content is going to be coming out. In fact, the Battle Pass, which I think is a super cool feature and allows you to unlock a bunch of stuff. It works pretty much similar to any other Battle Pass that you find in other similar style of games, like Fortnite, for example, their Battle Pass, or even other live service games with their battle passes, where it's going to be a monthly thing. Every month there's going to be a new battle pass, and these are going to be in seasons. I say that with air quotes that you can't see because I have no camera on, but the seasons are going to be themed, and in these battle passes you're going to be able to unlock a bunch of cool cosmetic stuff as you go that is going to be themed for that particular battle pass. So for instance, we know that one is going to be themed around an Ashwold cemetery style thing, kind of like an undead, a Leoric, or a Skeleton King kind of theme. So you'll get a lot of those cool like blues and undead stuff popping into your cosmetics. And cosmetics are going to be a big part of this game, things that you can unlock and things that you can purchase, but a lot of things that you can earn. And I think that as a person who likes cosmetic items and especially likes unlocking these kind of things, it was right up my alley. Like, I'm going to be getting the battle pass every single month. It's great. I love portrait frames, and like they're going to have full armor sets that you can get, or item appearances, or even like your town portal. It will be a thing that you can change the cosmetic of, which is cool because again, this is a giant open game with a bunch of people playing all at once, and you're going to come across players that are playing alongside you, and you'll be able to, like throw open your town portal and they'll be like, ooh, what town portal is that? It's cool. It's really, really, really cool. And with these cosmetics, Blizzard has made it a point to say that they aren't just doing like super ridiculous, fantastical stuff. They also have more subtle cosmetic stuff as well. So if you wanted more grounded, more dark gothic looks and styles, you can find that in there. But if you wanted more of the like Diablo 3 or I would say more of the Warcrafty, like Blizzard traditional style of over the top, ridiculous, like giant shoulder pads and stuff like that, you could find that in there too. And it's up to you what you wear. And there's a whole new interface for cosmetics in the game that you could just go in and, change, kind of like what you would expect in like World of Warcraft, where you could go and transmog your gear and get the different styles and looks, but it's all within an interface within the game, and you just pop open the interface and start messing with that stuff, which is really nice. I like that I don't necessarily have to go to a vendor or a NPC if I just wanted to change the look of the weapon that I just picked up and equipped. That is a bit of a problem in Diablo 3, where you get a new item that's a huge upgrade and you're like, oh, finally, I've been playing for like a week and I haven't gotten anything. Finally, I've gotten something that's a primal ancient item, and let's put this thing on, and oh god, the transmog, it's totally messed everything up. But of course, that's not the only thing they've changed. They've gone through and reworked all of the set items, and they've made it so since the beta happened, it now has 2, 4, and 6 set bonuses, just like in like Diablo 3, for example. And sets for the most part are less emphasized on their stats, because what would happen before, and this is just the way that the game works, and it's good that it works this way, which is as you gain Paragon levels, as you're playing the game, gaining experience, better and better loot is going to be dropping for your character. So that way there's always new stuff to find. But what would happen before is, you'd be trying to finish off a set, and the first or second piece that you got of this set that you wanted to get the full set of, they're kind of garbage pieces now, because you've leveled up enough to the point where those pieces aren't good compared to the new pieces that are dropping. They've put less of an emphasis on the stats, so that's not necessarily a problem. You're going to be able to finish off these sets, and the sets aren't like they are in Diablo 3, for example, where in Diablo 3, the set pieces are basically the end game. You just get your set and you get your build up and running, and there's some exceptions with like the Legacy of Dreams gem and everything like that, where you're not using any set items, but for the most part, it's all based on sets. That's not the case here. The sets are just a part of your character. They aren't the defining feature of your character, because your main items that you're getting are not set items. The set items are like rings and belts and whatnot. And because of that, you're combining normal legendaries with set items in a cohesive way that works really, really well. They've also updated the Heliquary, which is the best way to put it for people who don't know about it. It's like a raid boss that you can do a couple times a week, and it starts now not at max level, but you get access to it at level 40 with an introductory boss that you can go and try out and kind of see what's going on with the Heliquary. They also updated Elder Rifts, which are kind of like Greater Rifts in a sense, but what they've done is they've added environmentally based modifiers, like acid pits, for example. And this helps with the existing modifiers to kind of keep things a bit more fresh, every time that you do a rift, which is a nice change and something that I really appreciate because you're going to be doing a lot of these over time. They updated Westmarch, which is the main city. It's easier to get around. There's a new waypoint in a place that you're going to be going fairly often. They added up to Hell 5 difficulty, which is like Paragon. I believe it was 240 to 600 and beyond. It's going to take a while to get to that point, so don't be freaking out. This isn't like Diablo 3 where you're going to go, do your Echoing Nightmare for season 25 and suddenly you're Paragon 240 because that's the way it works. You're not going to gain Paragon levels that quickly in this, so don't get too overwhelmed by me saying 240 to 600. That's going to take a while to get to. And then I think the biggest thing that I want to chat about real quick is the class change feature, which is really cool. So Immortal is not very alt friendly. You can jump in and play all of the different classes and have one of each character, but it's going to be fairly taxing to keep all of those characters up to the status of what everybody else is if they're just playing one character, which should be expected. But if you don't have the time to do that, and maybe you're playing your Demon Hunter and you're like, man, the Demon Hunter I just don't like right now, I just don't want to play a Demon Hunter, you can for free, you can change your class. And they haven't decided on a cooldown for this yet. Might be a week, might be a month, who knows. But at the moment, what will happen is you go in and you change your character from a Demon Hunter to a Barbarian, and you're like, yay, now I'm a Barbarian. They give you a full set of starter armor for that. They also allow you to retain all of your social stuff, or like if you were in a clan or whatever, you would keep all of that. You would keep all of your friends. None of that's changing. However, any cosmetic items that you had for that Demon Hunter, like Demon Hunter specific stuff, those would not be retained. And they're basically, imagine it being snapshotted onto that character, that Demon Hunter character that you had. Your challenge rift leader position is gone, right? But your progression is still retained, so you could go do high level challenge rifts, kind of like how rifts, like greater rifts, work in Diablo 3, where maybe you did a greater rift 70. Let's say you did the challenge rift 70 before. Well, now you're not starting back at 1. You could still go do that 70. And I like that because then you could go in, your Paragon points are refunded. You can completely, set up this new class the way that you want to, go play that for a bit. And if you ever get tired of it, you can change back. You could just go do your class change back to your Demon Hunter, and it takes what your Demon Hunter was before with its setup and its gear and its cosmetics and all that, and it just takes it and allows you to play from where you picked up or from where you left off. And I love that because it means that people who get tired of a class can change and can go have fun for a while without feeling like they have to level up a new character and keep that character up to date with everything. So that is super cool and something that I think should be applauded. It's the fact that it's free was really surprising to me. I was expecting it to be a microtransaction, but allowing the players to just play the way they want to play is hugely important for accessibility. And I think that, again, that needs to be applauded. And finally, I have something that I really wanted to make sure that I got the information correct, so I made sure that I asked multiple times over on this to the community team and the devs, which is, are we going to be able to use Battle.net balance for purchases in Diablo Immortal? And the answer is yes. And the reason why now, it wasn't yes before because it wasn't on PC, but now that it is going to be on PC, it's going to be on Battle.net, which means that if you're like me and you have a lot of World of Warcraft gold saved up, you can transfer that over basically to gold, essentially by buying WoW tokens and selling those. And you can take all of the Battle.net balance that you're getting from that, that you can convert into or from your gold, and take that and use that in Diablo Immortal to purchase stuff like the Battle Pass and whatnot. And I think that's really cool because there's a significant amount of people that have Battle.net balance that they're not using on anything, and now they can use it on Immortal. And there's no excessively high purchase prices for things in Immortal. So, you know, if you have like $50 saved up, that's going to get you quite a bit of stuff in Immortal. And I think that is at least really important to me. And I know really important to a lot of my community who has expressed the same concerns. With that, if you have any questions about Diablo Immortal, please put them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them, or other community members can try to answer them as well. I think the launch on June 2nd is going to be super exciting. I can't wait for it to be on PC. I can't wait to be able to switch back and forth between my phone and PC at a moment's notice, especially because it's so easy to swap my controller back and forth as well. Yeah, I love that. I think that PC news is huge and it's going to make a lot of people very, very happy. Let me know what you think of that also in the comments while you're down there. But with all that being said, we shall see you all next time.